This is a fourth stimulus check, stimulus program, and news update. We're skipping the intro, saving you time, and getting right into the news. So GOP Senator Rand Paul says he refuses to take the COVID-19 vaccine and claims he already has natural immunity because he already had COVID. Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Should people who already have COVID or had COVID be exempt from taking the vaccine? Also, should members of Congress take the vaccine, or should they have a choice like everybody else in America? Let me know your thoughts on that. Interesting note here is that Rand Paul is actually a medical doctor. Next, let's talk about fourth stimulus check. This article just came out. New stimulus checks could start hitting your account automatically. This is referring to a letter that was written to President Biden this past week talking about automatic stimulus checks and automatic unemployment benefits being tied to automatic stabilizers. Basically what that means is that when conditions in the economy change, then people will automatically get unemployment benefits and stimulus checks without it having to be voted through Congress. So if, let's say, the pandemic worsens and the economy dips, then automatic checks will just start sending out, and these two forms of payments will work in tandem according to this letter. And one big part of this letter that probably the biggest takeaway is the American Rescue Plan's $1,400 checks alone will keep 11 million people out of poverty this year, with unemployment benefits expansion and other provisions in the bill accounting for another 5 million. A fourth and fifth stimulus check could keep an additional 12 million out of poverty. Combined with the effects of the American Rescue Plan, direct payments could reduce the number in poverty in 2021 from 44 million to 16 million. So not only just a fourth stimulus check, but a fifth stimulus check, and mainly it's talking about recurring stimulus checks coming on a monthly basis of up to $2,000. Now the big question is, who is in support of these fourth stimulus checks in Congress? So far with the fourth stimulus check, we have over 80 lawmakers now in support of further direct payments to Americans, and these are recurring stimulus checks of $2,000 per month, which is supported by over 80 lawmakers in Congress. And the petition so far to get the $2,000 per month to every American is up to 2,229,000 signatures so far, and signatures are still happening on a regular basis. They're trying to get it up to 3 million now, over 3 million. Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Should it be $2,000 per month, $1,000 per month? Do you think just a one-time payment is good enough? What do you think about a fourth stimulus check amount? Also, when it comes to actually happening, the White House was asked about what's going on with fourth stimulus checks and recurring stimulus checks. The White House says it's up to Congress to decide on sending more stimulus checks because they're not free. So this last statement saying they're not free, basically referring to Congress. Congress is in charge of the money. The president, regardless how much power the president has, they can't sign an executive order to send out stimulus checks or send out stimulus checks on their own. It's up to Congress to pass it. So it's basically up to Congress now to make a move, put the fourth stimulus check in the upcoming American Families Plan or American Jobs Plan and pass it out like that. And a lot of people say that it's much needed. So according to this poll that was just done, a quarter of women say they are financially worse off a year into the pandemic than they were before the pandemic. And this isn't just women, this is also men. In terms of adults, US adults overall are 22% are saying that they were worse off after the pandemic. Women is 25%, men 18%. So it seems that across the board, a lot of people are worse off, and the needs of fourth stimulus checks and unemployment benefits address those needs of helping the people who are worse off. Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Do you think you're considered part of the 25% of women or 22% of overall adults that have been affected by the pandemic? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Now, one of the biggest obstacles for getting a fourth stimulus check is the infrastructure package, because once the infrastructure package passes, then they could start focusing on fourth stimulus check and other stimulus programs. So far, with the infrastructure package, bipartisan talks over infrastructure deal on the brink of crumbling days before the deadline of May 31st, which is just within a week away. May 31st, if a deal is not made, most likely it's probably going to go through reconciliation, which means the Democrats could put whatever they want in the bill, including fourth stimulus checks. So far, the White House has gone down to 1.7 trillion compared to the 2.3 trillion so far. Republicans still not happy with that. Here's the response from Republicans about the infrastructure package. Then I'm going to play you a clip from the Democrats' perspective.
Just when you look at the infrastructure bill, they're talking about, oh, they've made some concession. It seems to me like what they're talking about as a concession is just moving some piece of funding from this bill to another bill anyway, and then saying, oh, look, we've moved towards the Republicans. They're just they're so dishonest in the way they're approaching it.
Absolutely. And from what I've heard on the streets of D.C. is that Nancy Pelosi's taken over the Transportation Infrastructure Committee, that they're not working or looking to work with Republicans at all on this package. They've already had to rename it to the Jobs Plan because everyone understood that it had nothing to do with infrastructure. And right behind demands for public housing from the federal level to local governments is $100 billion for school lunches. I'm a single mom. I want my kids to have good lunches too, but that has nothing to do with infrastructure. And so they've got a real problem on their hands right now in selling this to the American people. And the only way that they can pay for it is by having the largest tax hike in American history. And I think that is the worst idea in the middle of a pandemic where businesses, individuals, and families are suffering.
And also some of the things that they sort of list under this heading of infrastructure. You know, they talk about sort of funding for schools and so on. And I think even transportation, they were included in all these bailout bills we've had over the last year. And the state and local governments haven't even spent that money. Billions and billions of dollars haven't even been spent yet. And now they want more.
Right. And there's been no audit on what's been spent so far. And also in that package, there is almost $200 billion, about $174 billion or so for electric vehicles. I don't remember seeing that kind of investment for our energy grid or infrastructure grid at all. We just had this cyber attack recently. We've got real problems in this country, and infrastructure should be the focus of an infrastructure bill 100%.
As you can see, Republicans not too happy with the way things are going with infrastructure so far, thinking that Democrats are putting too many social issues into an infrastructure package. Bernie Sanders just tweeted this yesterday, saying, when Mitch McConnell, the Senate Republican leader, tells us his job is to oppose 100% of President Biden's agenda, we should believe him. Time is running out. We must act quickly to improve the lives of working families with 51 votes. We cannot afford to wait. Let's get it done. So saying that he wants to approve it with 51 votes is referring to the reconciliation process. Here's Bernie Sanders talking more about that.
Now, the president and Republicans have been going back and forth on this question of infrastructure. The president made another bid, shorten the price tag a little bit. But the central question of what infrastructure means, Republicans say roads and bridges, Democrats say it includes lots of other things in the environment, child care, elder care. Is that difference so big that it can't be fixed through bipartisan negotiations and Democrats should just go it alone?
Well, look, I think most working class Americans understand that for the last 40 years, what the government has done is cater to the needs of the wealthy and large corporations. Rich are becoming much richer, while real wages for average American workers have gone nowhere over the last many, many decades. And I think what we have got to do now, John, is start paying attention to a struggling middle class, a struggling working class. What does that mean? It means that at a time when half of our people are living paycheck to paycheck, we have got to create millions of good paying jobs. That is rebuilding roads and bridges. We've talked about that forever. But it is also having to deal with the existential threat of climate. How do you not deal with climate when the scientists tell us that the very future of the planet is in peril? And furthermore, when I think about infrastructure, of course it means education. How do we lead the world unless we have, in a competitive economy, world economy, the best educated workforce in the world? Of course it means childcare. Of course it means healthcare. And I think we've got to expand Medicare to cover dental, eyeglasses, hearing aids. And of course it means dealing with income and wealth inequality.
So in 30 seconds we have less, Senator. With ambitions like that, which the president shares, how do you do it through a bipartisan process? Aren't you going to have to go through reconciliation just with Democratic votes?
That's probably right. And I think that's what the American people want. We would like bipartisanship, but I don't think we have a seriousness on the part of the Republican leadership to address the major crises facing this country. And if they're not coming forward, we've got to go forward alone.
So what do you think? Should it go through reconciliation? Should they try to work with Republicans? It doesn't seem like the bipartisan talks are going very well so far. Most likely it's going to happen through reconciliation. Also, if you appreciate the time, energy, and effort that went into making this fast-paced video, hit the like button down below and subscribe for more daily updates like this. Next, I'm going to answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. Fred White II says, Wise, did you just say if you didn't get a stimulus check, it went to Japan? Watch what you say, you're getting caught up. So basically, that was a joke, or is meant to be a joke in yesterday's video. I showed an article about how people in Japan, due to a glitch in the IRS and Social Security system, were receiving $1,400 checks even though they were not US citizens. So I made a joke saying that if you didn't get your third stimulus check, maybe it went to Japan. That was just a joke. Wasn't serious about that. Sorry if it came across the wrong way. Vanna Yarborough says she didn't wear a mask and was hugging everyone. Did she send herself a warning? Referring to Nancy Pelosi, there's some controversy going on in Congress, wearing masks, not wearing masks. Nancy Pelosi putting the rule saying everyone needs to wear a mask, but yet certain times are not wearing a mask. It's getting crazy there. Next question comes from Michelle Johnson. My daughter had a baby in May 2020 and let her father claim him on his taxes. They are no longer together. Will she still get the $300 a month child tax credit? Unfortunately not. So it doesn't matter who the parent is, who takes care of the kids. It's whoever claims the kid on the tax return. So if the father claims your daughter on the tax return, then it's going to go to the father. And that is all the stimulus news I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, I am both feelings my sticks. We will play. Guys, if you want to be fashionable, be fashionable. Do whatever you want to do now, yes, or never. Because that if you do it now, you'll do it, and you have the experience about it. So that's all I wanted to tell for you today. Bye. Bye.
So if you like these type of fact-based, fast-paced updates, subscribe to the channel. I like to just give the facts, get right to the news, get right to the point, no fluff, no hyping anything, just telling you exactly what I would like to know and sharing that with you. So if you like that, subscribe. Also today, later on, we're probably gonna go play pickleball with my family. Personally, I love playing pickleball. Let me know if you play pickleball at all, if you ever heard of it. It's a lot of fun, so we're gonna go play pickleball all together, all four of us, my wife and two daughters, and have some fun outside. Hopefully you're gonna have a good day as well. If you want to check out some more videos, you could click this link down over here. It's on more stimulus updates. Or if you want to check out my other channel, Wise Vibes, and feel in a better mood, you could click this video up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.